Greetings, one and all. Welcome to my next series of Talkthroughs. This is going to be the entire Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle series. So we're starting with the first one from 1989. This is the NES version, as you can tell. And right here you get your option of starting or using a password. The password is pretty simple, but we'll see those as we go on. You start off with 5 lives. The object of the game is to collect all the carrots without touching all the enemies. And if an enemy touches you, it kills you instantly. But you can do things to help yourself, like pushing objects into enemies, or shooting them with boxing gloves, or using an invisible ink potion. That kills them instantly. For these first few levels, you're going to be encountering just a bunch of Sylvesters. There's green ones and black ones and pink ones. The green ones are pretty easy to deal with, as they just go up and down the doors. They're the easiest ones to fool. And the black ones will chase you, depending on where you are. And the pink ones, they'll only move when you move, so they can trap you at certain times. What I'm doing here is just waiting before I can just take out that Sylvester. And once all the enemies are gone, it's pretty easy. Early on in the game, they give you plenty of weapons to deal with. And right when you collect all the carrots, the stage ends instantly. Not a big deal. For stage 2, it's more of the same pretty much, just expanded. And yeah, the worst thing you can do in this game is get yourself trapped in a corner, so you do want to leave all those ones in the corners for last. And right here I'm just trying to bait Green Sylvester. As you can tell, I'm doing this post-commentary because I just didn't think I'd do a very good job of this live. And the reason I did post-commentary was I just felt like it would be easier to commentate over it as the game goes on, because there are going to be some points where I'm just going to be waiting for enemies to do whatever. And I said that this was the easiest enemy in the entire game, which is why I just died to him. And therein lies my big failure on camera. Well, that's my first big one at least. But the good news is you start over. You just lose an extra life. It's actually not that big a deal, since lives don't really have much of a point in this game, with the password set up the way it is. And right here I'm just trying to bait the Sylvesters into going closer. And yeah, like I said before, I left that or I went for that one on the right stairs at the wrong time, so that's why I got killed, because I couldn't get out of it. And as I've said before, you want to leave the or those particular ones for last, because it's not that you can't get to them, it's that you can't get out of them after you get to them, or you can't get out of that spot without getting yourself killed. And since I'm feeling kinda sadistic about that, or kinda sour about that Green Sylvester killing me, I just decided to return the favor. So I can just go up there and go up those stairs for the last one. The password is fairly simple in this game. Just 4 characters. No symbols, just numbers and letters. So on to stage 4, there's a lot more stairs in this one. And in the early stages, they do give you plenty of means to defend yourself. Either with dropping things on enemies, I almost did to that Sylvester. And here's your first use of the invisible ink potion, where you can turn invincible for a very brief period of time, and kill any enemy you touch. I'm trying to save that one at the top corner for last, because that's one of the toughest ones to get out of. So while that Green Sylvester is just doing whatever, I'm just gonna collect the rest of these carrots. You can beat these stages fairly quickly. I was just kinda trying to rack up on points by killing more enemies. But in the later stages, you're not gonna have as many weapons to work with, so you do kinda have to outrun the enemies. The good news is you can move faster than all the enemies that you're up against. At this point, at these early stages, it's just a bunch of Sylvesters. But yeah, there are about 60 levels in this game. I'm trying to go for about 10 per video. Just trying to get these Sylvesters down here. Because how you want to handle these is or you can actually bait the enemies by depending on where you go and how you move. Like there's some enemies, because of the way the game is set up, there's some enemies that don't move unless you do. And we'll get into those guys soon. And there's some that just directly chase you. And there was just me painting myself into a corner. And I could just go, but I guess I'm waiting for one of the Sylvesters to come over. Okay, that I guess took a little bit longer than it should have. And yeah, that's kind of how this first video is. I am taking a bit more time than I probably should be, because you can burn through some of these stages within a minute. But I guess I decided not to do that. So on to stage 5. And if I don't sound right, it's because I'm kind of getting over something I've had for the last few days. There's our first encounter with Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam just moved from side to side. He can't go up stairs or pipes or any... Or he can go upstairs, but not up doors or pipes or anything like that. And he can be really nasty to deal with when he's just cheaply placed. Other than that, though, he's not really that big a problem. Alright here, I'm just trying to get more Sylvesters to chase me. You actually cannot climb some of these places. Like that one on the left, that's not stairs. Might as well take out Green Sylvester while I can. Yeah, I think I'm just waiting for Sylvester to get closer. Because the ones on in midair, I'm also trying to save those for last. I mean, that's just my way of dealing with the midair ones, is that you should only get them when you have an absolute clear room, because it's really easy to land on top of an enemy, especially in the later stages. And here I just say screw it and just go for those carrots on the right. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this stage. There's just your password on to stage 6. And pretty much more of the same. You have Sylvesters, you have stairs, you have doors to tangle with, and here's our first appearance of Pink Sylvester. Pink Sylvester will stop whenever you do, and so will Daffy Duck. As much as I hate Daffy Duck, and we'll get into that as we go later in the series. As to how much I hate Daffy. And that actually worked out pretty well for me, being able to take out Pink Sylvester while trying to run away from Green Sylvester. The best thing you can do with this game is that whenever you're in a door or in a pipe, enemies can't hurt you. So that's an easy way to escape from enemies, is that the second they enter a door, you go in the same door, and then you can't get hurt from it. That's one very important trick that we'll need to know down the road. But yeah, I did end up playing these games a lot when I was younger. I mean, not so much 3 and 4, but mainly the first 2. So, on to stage 7. Stage 7's our first pipe level. You get different music. And also, because the way the controls are set up, it's pretty easy to fall off somewhere where you don't want to and get yourself killed like that. I'm not really sure how much editing is going to happen in this series, because unless it's times where I end up dying a lot in one stage, then I don't really think there's much of a need for it. Yeah, see, there's the pipes you can take. They sometimes curve off, and sometimes they're just straight ahead. These levels can be kind of confusing, because it is pretty easy to, I guess, get your location wrong as to where you're going and get yourself lost. So, yeah, right here I'm just trying to get the 3 Sylvesters there. And I really screwed myself by not landing that first box. or not killing that first one with a bucket. Instead, I just had to run away from those three. Because what I'm trying to do right now is isolate one Sylvester, because I do have a boxing glove, so I can deal with one. It's just whenever I'm surrounded by three that's going to be a problem. And since that's the toughest one to get out of, I'm leaving that one for last. Also, you get different victory music, which I think is a nice touch. And on to stage 8. Here's another pipe level. This one's different because you have two carrots in midair that you have to try and get. And there's our first appearance of Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote moves side to side, like Yosemite Sam does. And I really shouldn't have done that, but since Green Sylvester just likes to screw around the pipes, he's actually much less of a pain in this level than he is in most of the other ones. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, I'm just waiting for him to go over. Yeah, see, this is something I shouldn't have done. I should have just waited for Sylvester to come up from the pipes. Instead, I just had to run around a lot more to bait him somewhere else. See, unfortunately, the only way to that 10-ton is through the right side of that pipe, and I really don't feel like pushing that safe down. So instead, I will just stand there for a bit. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bait Wile E. Coyote into moving further away from those carrots. Also, I do need to drop from that top ledge in order to get to that carrot on the right, in midair. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I might as well just use this to my advantage. And there's you going up the pipe again. At this point, I just say screw it and go. And get really lucky in that part. And sometimes you do have to get kind of lucky in this game. Because there are some stages that the AI can just completely overpower you and you have no chance. Whereas there's some other stages where you can just get away pretty easily. Because at least in those later stages, sometimes it's just going to be a crapshoot. And there's just me collecting the rest of the carrots. And mid-air celebration dance. So stage 9 is the first, I guess, house level with the music I used to announce the teaser for these games. Right here, there's a Daffy and a bunch of Sylvesters. And the reason I hate Daffy so much is that he can get you killed in so many different ways. Whenever you're trying to drop down from a ledge, or whenever you're trying to go from a pipe, usually Daffy's right there waiting for you. And I got there right on time. And also, if you do stop, Sylvester's gonna stop too. The pink one, I mean. And right here, I'm trying to bait Daffy into going to the left. Because usually, if you're not careful, Daffy will be right there waiting for you whenever you drop down from the ledge. And he'll take you out. Because he's a jerk. And I hate Daffy. I will say that a lot during this series, don't worry. And this is one thing that can get kind of annoying is that Green Sylvester guarding that last carrot that I need. So I need to go bait him into chasing me so I can get the last carrot. And last stage for today is going to be stage 10. And right now, whenever I pause, it's just for me to get a grasp on what my surroundings are, because there is one stage in particular where you have to act really quickly, otherwise you're going to get killed right away. And if you weren't careful, you might have gotten blindsided by Yosemite Sam. So that is not fun. I think what I'm trying to do here is try and get Black Sylvester to chase me. Or Or I guess he decides to retreat. Yeah, see, if you're not careful, you could end up getting surprised by certain enemies. And you don't want to go there right away. Especially since there's a Sylvester waiting for me. No, do not go there. Instead, I'm just gonna go down here and collect the rest of the carrots. Oh, it's a good thing there was a door there. But, with that, I'll see you at part 2 tomorrow.